Good morning, everyone. Welcome to GreenSTEM Symposium 2025. It's our pleasure to have you here, and we thank you for showing up again this year. And for people joining us for the first time, it's usually a fantastic time to discuss about STEM in Nigeria, Africa, and of course across the globe. So just to lay the ground rules, while we wait for others to join, it's important we start immediately. If you have any question when a presenter is still on, you can write it down and ask question at the end of the day. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself so that the noise can reduce, because this is being recorded. People are going to watch it. We are going to share it with people in the future. So this is going to be archived and people will watch it later. So with this, I want to hand over to our coordinator, Dr. Perpetua Idehin, so that he can also talk about GreenSTEM, and then we'll proceed from there. So thank you very much for coming. Perpetua, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chukuma. And once again, I welcome everyone on this platform and to GreenSTEM Symposium 2025. So this GreenSTEM is a registered non-governmental organization committed to advocating for research, innovation, and commercialization of ideas as a pathway to achieving sustainable industrialization in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Our organization draws its strength from diverse membership of Nigerian academics, researchers, professionals, entrepreneurs, and innovators residing across the globe. These members come from a wide array of disciplines, including science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, as well as arts, law, management, and social sciences. This multidisciplinary composition reflects our belief that complex challenges Nigeria faces today presents golden opportunity for creating marketable products and services. And by fostering systematic interdisciplinary research, we aim to harness these opportunities for the benefit of our nation and continent. And our ultimate goal is to promote the adoption of innovation solutions to the sustainable development challenges confronting Nigeria today. So in GreenSTEM, we emphasize that these solutions must be supported by scientific methods and evidence-based management practices. And through our catalytic activities like this one, we strive to contribute to the creation of enterprise ecosystem where ideas can be effectively translated into tangible products and services. The GreenSTEM has made significant strides since its inception. We held inaugural GreenSTEM Symposium in 2022, titled with the theme Rapid Industrialization of Nigeria. That was looking at fundamental rules of commercialization in research and innovation. And these events attracted international speakers and participants, and so forth and so on. And we have held various preceding that. And in addition to all our symposium, we are developing several other initiatives to further our strategic objective. This includes the GreenSTEM. We're looking at GreenSTEM mentorship, again, which aims to nurture the next generation. The GreenSTEM Journal, which will serve as a platform for disseminating cutting-edge research and ideas. And as I said, the mentorship will be designed to guide and support emerging talent in the field. In regards to membership, the GreenSTEM organization is open to all Nigerians. whether residing in Nigeria or abroad. We share our vision of sustainable and industrial future with everyone that is being identified as Nigerian, because we believe that together we can build a robust community of thinkers who are committed to transforming Nigerian challenges into opportunities for growth and development. Thank you very much. And that is us from GISTEM to you in a nutshell. Okay, so moving to our next agenda. Just trying to get that. We'll be having various speakers. And our first speaker is, sorry, just trying to get that. So our guest speaker on schedule is Dr. Uchenna. Can you, Dr. Kende, please, could you help me with that? Because I think the version I have is for last year.
Okay, it's Lasisi.
Mr. Lasisi, Mr. Lasisi to come for his presentation. I'm not sure it's yet here. Lasisi, are you here?
If not here, we can go to the next person. The person can then swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone just joined in.
Yeah, that's Dr. Messi.
Okay.
Okay, is anyone here going to present?
Yeah, Ahmed, are you ready for?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Ahmed, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah, please, you can start so that we will wait for others.
You need to share your screen with us.
Good morning. Good morning, Dignity Organization panelists and participants. My name is Ahmed Rashid. I want to be sharing my screen.
Yes, please. No, we are not seeing your screen yet.
I want to be sharing it, sir.
Dr. Messi, how are you today?
Oh, sorry, I was muted before.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming, please.
Dr. Tem is joining us. Is she in now?
Hello, sir.
Dr. Tem, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Hello. Dr. Akade, I don't know, maybe you help me. Maybe I can share you my slide and help me to share it on the screen. I'm trying to share it into my phone, but I was not able to do it, sir.
Okay, I may send your slide. I can project it. I can show it from here. So why are you having problem sharing? Ahmed, have you sent it now? Are you interview?
I've sent it to your email, sir.
Okay. Okay. I think I got it. I'm just trying to open it now. It's not 11:20. Okay, it should be this one. So I need to share. Let's come just Yes. Yeah, so many stuff happened. I'm just trying to close this. Maybe this one. Okay, can we all see the presentation just now? I'll put in
yes.
slide.
Yes.
Slide
Yes.
I'll put in slide show just now.
Okay.
So I just drag this one out of your slideshow. You do it as tomato. Oh, okay. No. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I got it. Ahmed, can you start now? Because we've wasted a lot of time here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Start your presentation.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ahmed Rashid, and I'm delighted to be presenting my research at this symposium. So I'll be speaking on the geochemical assessment of soil and water for public health studies. Case study of an abandoned site mining site, Jiko Field, North Central Nigeria. Next, please.
Yeah. I hope I've not joined anyone. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Hello, next, sir. So, introduction. This is my overview of the study. Can you please go to the introduction?
Okay.
Next.
Where do you want me to stay?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
I don't think he can see the slide.
You are not seeing your slide, right?
Yeah, I can see now. Okay, can you go back the previous one, sir?
Okay. So which one of them? Introduction or overview? Where are you starting?
Yeah, introduction of a few. Yes, sir. That's what I'm starting from.
But we are not hearing anything. Are you presenting it? Are you
Yes,
showing
now.
that?
Yeah, I am now. So mining is important economic activity in Nigeria, and it contributes to the foreign exchange, earning, and employment and national development. However, artisanal small-scale mining, also known as ASM, remain largely informal and unregulated. While ASM provide livelihood to many rural communities, it's also assisted with significant environmental and health hazard. Heavy metal often released to the environment contaminated the soil and water and air. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Abandoned mine site, in particular, become persistent source of contamination. When no sample is the lead poisoning incident that happened in Niger State that claimed a lot of life, which was directly linked to the unregulated mining activities. Such case highlight the urgency of risk assessment and unsustainable solution. Next, please.
Yeah.
Okay. I've already said this. Abandon only, and let me go to objective of the study. So
Yeah.
the study was designed to address the need for detailed specific assessment of ASM impact. So the primary objective was to assess the soil and water contamination at the abandoned site mining at Jiko village, North Central in Nigeria. Also determine the pollution status of the area using geochemical indices, enrichment factor, and others, and recommend mitigation measure to minimize public health risk. Ultimately, this study contributed to the scientific understanding of ASM environmental impact in Nigeria. Business. This is the study area of this study area, Jiko village, is located in North area, the chemical setting of the place started by basement complex and geology prone to basement complex geology, and they are prone to mineralization. So mining histories, evidence of past artisanal mining, particularly for lead and gold mining, are there. So the area has now abandoned mine site. Next, please. So to achieve this objective, this sampling was carried out. For soil sample, representative soil sample were collected from depth of 0 to 25 centimeter using grid control method to ensure good partial profit across the site. So for water sampling were taken from the stream and the village well, which are potential source of drinking water for the community. So all samples were carefully preserved and stored for deliberate analysis. Yeah, next sir. Okay, methodology. The laboratory analysis was performed using atomic absorption spectroscope, and these techniques were used to quantify the concentration of the key heavy metals, not all the metals that was analyzed there. Key heavy metals such as lead, zinc, copper, nickel, chromium, iron, manganese, and arsenic. Next, please. These are the results getting from the soil analysis. If you look at the soil and look at the data very well, we can see on the range of lead, it ranges from 35.55 ppm, all I mentioned ppm, 35.55 ppm to 112.9 C, and which one is also higher there. If you look at the nickel, also 38.61 to 111 to 38.61 to 111. Next, please. This is for the water. So also lead and what again? Lead and nickel also they are rich. If you look at the minimum range of the lead also, we have 0.147 to 1.6257. Next, sir. So this is the summary of the chemical analysis of the analyzed soils with their enrichment. So enrichment factor were calculated in order to assess the degree of contamination of or enrichment of the specific element and relate it to the natural background value. So we look, this is the main constitution of we have 77, and for others 68, 44, something. And iron, we have the high constitution of iron, that is 41,766. But if you look at the iron very well, it's very high. But iron is not always considered the primary anthropogenic pollutants because they are naturally abundant in the earth crust and also essential for many biological activities and biological process rather. So look at the enrichment factor of lead also here. We have 5.14, and why iron was 1.26. So lead, nickel, chromium, lead, nickel, and chromium. The soil are very rich in lead, nickel, and chromium. Next, please. Next, sir. Look at the graph now. If you look at the graph, sir, from here, sir, you will see that lead compared to the constitution of this comparison of after measure elemental constitution in the analyzed soil sample, they have very constant abundance. We compare the constitution of the heavy metal analyzed in the lab with the after constant abundance. If you look at it now, lead, the one in color blue is the one we measure in element measured in lab, and while the one in yellow or orange in mon, that's the average constant abundance. Look at it from here, lead here, they are much higher than others. Also, chromium and nickel. Like I said earlier, iron, they are very rich. They are rich in iron. The soil are rich in iron, but due to iron, they are very abundant elements in the earth crust. Next, please. Next, sir. So this comparison of the main consists of heavy metal, analyzed soil, analyzed water, drinking water. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
You asked me to wait.
No, continue.
Okay, sir. So the consists of heavy metal analyzed water sample with Nigeria standard for drinking water quality and World Health Organization. So look at it also from here. We can see that major element consistent in ppm, lead is 0.7 C. They are still higher there compared to the permissible NSC DQW 2007, that is 0.01. Also compared to the World Health Organization. If you look at the remarks here, we can see that lead and nickel and iron and arsenic, they are above the permissible limit. So from the graph, we can see from the graph also lead, they are very higher, and lead, zinc, copper, and iron. Next, please. Next, sir.
Next.
Yes. So soil contamination result. Soil analysis reveals significant heavy metal contamination like I said, look at the range of the lead, range of the zinc, and range of chromium. So less than enrichment, element ratio of 5.14 indicates substantial anthropogenic input, which may be due to the waste and the mining activity going on there, or unregulated of the waste and the mining waste product. So water, Lisa. Next slide. So water analysis, water samples show elevated metal concentration exceeding regulatory limits. Lead, that is 0.7 compared to the world recommendation is 0.01 ppm. Also, nickel also above the exceeding the regulatory limits. Manganese also and iron also. This level pose a direct threat to human health. Yes, sir. Next slide. So the previous one, sir. So the pollution source and mobility. This pollution originates from various sources related to many activities. Like I said, mining and tanning, direct use of heavy metal from oil extraction and processing may be the source of all these high elevation of lead, chromium, and nickel in the soil and water. Also, waste disposal, improper disposal of mining waste contribute to soil and water contamination. And next, sir. So public health implication. So contaminated water and soil pose signal risk to the resident. A episode pathway. Contaminated water, pathway, it may be like contaminated water consumption, food chain contamination, like the crops and livestock, or the crops they are planting there, and the livestock they are feeding on the grass there, and direct contact with the soil. So all these pose a risk to human being. Potential lead poisoning can cause neurological damage and other adverse health effects, and parallel past lead poisoning outbreak in the region, like the what I say, like Niger State lead poisoning that happened then, I think it was 2010 or next, sir. Next, sir. Conclusion, sir. The key finding highlight the severity of pollution and the need for intervention. So soil and water in Jigo Fleet, they are severely polluted with heavy metals. So ASM activity are the primary cause of contamination, and there's an urgent need for regulation and remediation to protect the public health. So recommendation, the next slides are recommendations are the following measures I recommend. Environmental impact assessment to conduct a comprehensive assessment before and during the mining operation, and very strict regulation, enforce regulation on the ASM activity to minimize the environmental damage, and community awareness to educate the residents about the risk and preventive measure. Like the residents of the village, most of them believe there's one spiritual thing that keep their people there if they drink the water, blah blah blah. But they don't know that the source of the environment, the mining activities in the area cause all this killing of people around there. So sustainable mining practice and promote environmental sound mining techniques, and provision of alternative livelihood offer alternative economic opportunity to reduce reliance on ASM. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we have another presenter? I can present mine now, if not, so that we'll wait for others as well.
Okay, do we have chances to answer? Ask questions.
Okay, yeah, you can give the scholar feedback. You can ask questions. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I just want to encourage attempting to present this fantastic. You have done very well. Just 2 questions. First one, how did you identify the area to take your samples from?
I didn't get the question very well. Please, can you come?
how did you come about the area to take your samples from? How did you
Area
that you get your
common
samples?
body area. Like I said, like the incident of abandoned mining site. Are you
Okay.
about the incident of hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
And how did I come about? I didn't get very well.
Yes, how did you come about your study of sources of sample? What tells you or informs you that this is the right place to take your samples from?
Okay. Like I said, the Jico village, before they were mining gold there, so they abandoned the site. And like I said, my problem of the statement, there's a parallel constant incident in Niger State. So this, and it linked to the unregulated mining activities. And Jico village, they were mining there and they just abandoned the mining site. So, and the abandoned mining site, this site endangered local community through the contaminated water and food timber. So the current study, you have to address the detailed site-specific assessment. There was a case study, like there was a case there that there are people, so maybe like two children there. They went to go and drink water. They started purging, and they were thinking maybe there's one big spiritual there that killed their children.
Yeah, I mean, sorry for cutting in, Dr. Lawal. I think what doctor is asking is has to do with research design. So when you go to the mine site, do you like take your sample directly at the mine site? I mean, this where they have dug, like, you know, I know you share some picture with me in the past. Do you take your sample directly within the mine site, or you allow some, you make sure within certain distance, maybe 50 meters or 20 meters or whatever it is, at within the circumference of the mine site? So because if you are not, it should have something that guided the way you actually took the sample from the field. I think that was trying to find out. What guided you on your spot where you took the sample for your chemical analysis? Do you get the question now?
Yes, I get the question now. Yes, like I said, I took the sample. I used grid method to take myself around 50, no, not up to 50, 30 meter. Yes, there's not only one abandoned mining site there. There were like 4 abandoned mining sites around the area.
Okay.
And the water sample, I'm talking about the soil sample.
Okay. You are looking at abandoned mining site because for you to get basis for selection of sample is very important in research. So the second or the follow-up question is that what other sources would have introduced lead, manganese, and other heavy metals that you reported in this study? What other sources?
What other sources?
Yes, apart from mining activities, did you look at any other sources possible?
I don't look at any other sources because I only work specifically on the abandoned mining sites.
Okay, because why I'm asking is that it is also possible that these are external to the mining sites. So you need to handle that aspect to be very sure that there is sufficient quality control. Thank you. Overall, you did well. I congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
I also have a question, please. I have a question, please.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I also know that there is need for improvement in the presentation because this is a very, very important topic and very interesting one for that matter. But I was trying to put my understanding together to really understand the presentation, the discussion, the correlation between the results, the graphical presentation and all of that. But I'm actually struggling anyway. But then the question is, you never talked about regulations that are in place, the relevant one, the current one, and the need for update. And because there is no way we can talk about sustainable mining practices without talking about the regulations that are in place. So I don't know how that can really come in. But then if you can tell us something about that, what about the regulations that have been in place? Are they really being enforced? Is there compliance to them? Is there any other relevant ones that you want people to be aware of in terms as a recommendation? Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Like I said, the recommendation I know is they will conduct a comprehensive assessment before and during the mining, and then educate the residents about the risk to prevent this contamination of soil and water. I think that would be better.
No, when we say those are just processes of compliance, we're talking about the regulation, like what you have in Nigeria that are already in place. Like if you are talking about waste management here, in a formal in a way, we're talking of heavy metals now. Here in the UK, for example, there are regulations that are in place. So where are these regulations, these policies, that's what I mean, that is in place so that the mining such a thing that the health of the public is safe? That's what I'm actually asking. Okay.
Yeah, can I contribute here? Because he's not getting the, I'm not sure he gets the point. Sorry, Dr. Chukuma.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
So yeah, so in his introductory part, I think he mentioned things about largely unregulated. So we do have some of these policies, but people are not following them. So, and they're causing a lot of, if you look at Zamfara State, for example, before the incident in Niger State around 2015 or 2016, thereabout, a lot of people are dying because people are using grinding machine that's meant for processing food. They are using it to grind things out with extracting minerals. And heavy metals are just settling on the bottom of the machine, and that gets incorporated into their food. And people ingest some of these heavy metals, which led to lead poisoning in the area. So yes, we do have those policies and the rest in place, but they are not effective. So and I think key recommendations from his work will be strengthening those regulations. Government should do more to ensure that people comply with those standard regulations in place to safeguard life of people resident in the area. So I think that's what you are trying to say. So people should be held responsible. People should be accountable. Understand? If you go into mining activities, you contaminate the area, you should be able to decontaminate it or try to make sure that as much as possible this activity doesn't affect the resident in the area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think I like the fact that we are having this conversation from the presentation. And I think in line with the, Dr. Ateme, please, I will come to you in a moment. In line with this, the work is throwing up the need for tighter regulation of artisanal mining because of the health implication. And we can appreciate that artisanal mining, they don't have money, they don't have capital, but we are talking about job creation. So is there any way the government can develop a policy and then register those who have the capacity and the interest, and then safeguard the public health institutions. Like, people do things out of ignorance. They don't even know what they are doing. So I think that there's a policy implication from this presentation. So please, I've kept Dr. Tieme waiting for long. Please, and the presenter, please, I want you to understand that all these are just intellectual conversation, which is why we are here. So don't think that you are being criticized. So some of them are feedback, some of them things you can take up and improve your work, particularly those technical aspects. Dr. Tieme, please.
Thank you. Hamid, I just wanted to check something with you. I think this is a very interesting study. I wanted to ask, what do you intend to do next? What's the next steps for you? Because these are more or less like point analysis, and you have got some data. What do you intend to do next to consolidate on the potential impact of this data?
Okay, so I would say, like, I still have to do like a very comprehensive work on the area. I just work on 4 abandoned mining sites in the area, and there is still more. If you have to compare my data with others, like, I would say my data is small, and the number of elements analyzed also it is small. If I can conduct a comprehensive one, maybe it will help me to arrive at something, sir.
What do you consider comprehensive in that context? The reason I'm asking, because while you were making your presentation, you made a comment about the fact that the levels of these heavy metals are beyond the internationally permissible limit, and it is dangerous to humans. And you also mentioned that people were having the runs after drinking water also. So I was just trying to relate the fact that in your data, you've got some point analysis, some of these. How do you actually then measure the direct impact on humans, or whatever model you intend to follow through? That's potentially something to think about. You could potentially do some animal studies to actually see the direct impact on humans.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that I will just leave that as a comment. Perhaps it's something you can think further. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
But I think overall it's a very interesting finding.
Yeah, in line with what Dr. Tieme said before I hand over to the coordinator, Ahmed, I also think that you should write to the Ministry of Environment of that state, the state under which you collected data.
Okay,
Tell
sir.
them that your preliminary analysis shows that they should have policy regulating artisanal mining, and that if they want you to still contribute towards shaping the policy, that you can conduct more study. That's how grants are created. Okay, you are not asking for money. You are just saying, I have done this, I have expertise, I'm interested. If you people are interested, I want to get involved. Of course, they can create a grant, and but even don't always think, oh, they will not do anything. Oh, they are politicians. So write it. Send it to the Ministry of Environment, send it to the Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Health. Okay? And keep a copy of your letter. So, and you've done your work as an academic, as a researcher. So it's up to them whether they will do something about it or not. So, and that is the aspect of impact and public engagement with respect to your work. So I'll yield back to Dr. Perpetua so that we can entertain another presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Messi, did you want to contribute?
Yeah, well, I just to straighten the point that Dr. Shukuma just said, that he has to look at, because there are regulations on grant already, So the aspect of updating and pointing out what he can do better, that will also boost what he's about to do. That would be okay, right? If you can do that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. I wanted to just add a point in line with what Dr. Teme was saying. So if you do comparative study, which I think that you have done a bit, but somebody was asking about the different sites. So if you can you're able to access more sites. Who's sharing? Can you stop sharing, please? Because we can see your whole screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was saying, that I think that will be very useful contribution to your work, already amazing work, is to have 5 to 10 sites that you can actually have the mapping against. And in terms of impact as well, identifying those impacts. Then if you pulling those data points together in maybe a histogram to show the different sites and what their impacts are and comparable to other sites, I think with that will also strengthen your argument, and seeing how those different sites fall below what the standard limit should be. Many people have suggested about it's remediation, thinking about how to remediate what the situation is. Maybe you can think alongside what can be done to those sites. Because do you want to evacuate the soil? Do you want to, whatever, I don't know what the remediation might be, but it might be looking at it based on what the limit is. If you see, because if you do those comparative studies, you will see some limits are higher and some are lower. So the remediation packages will be different. So again, you can add that to whatever you're sending, that Dr. Chukuma said, to say, if we do this and do this, this will remediate this site, and it will take this amount of funding or amount of whatever to remediate this site and bring it back to normal. That's my conclusion. So we need to.
Thank you, Ma.
We need to move on. Yes. Okay. I should be actually handing over. Dr. Mutari, are you on?
Yes. So, to continue, we have Professor Dan Kishia, the Dean of the Faculty of Science, University of Abuja, here now. So I just wanted to inform you.
Oh, right. Okay. So, welcome, Professor Ahmed Dankishia.
Yes, thank you.
That's
thank
correct.
you very much.
Prof, you're welcome. You're welcome, Prof.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
We're glad to have you in our midst, and we're happy. We know that you're very busy, and we're happy to give you 5 minutes for an introduction of yourself and what areas and how we can collaborate with your institute, and how that can be supported through our Green STEM, and how we can actually work together and collaborate in the future, and what areas that might interest your institute.
Thank you. Members of the Green STEM Educational Charitable Foundation, staff and students of the University of Abuja, the Microsoft teams, the keynote speakers, researchers, sponsors, and stakeholders at this symposium. It is my great and sincere pleasure to welcome you all to this today event, which is marking the 4th consecutive symposium, which is a dedication and a consistency to the advancement of research in Nigeria. which is a hybrid event with University of Abuja Macroso team co-hosting. Actually, the theme of this year's symposium, developing indigenous capacities and capabilities in STEM to drive industrialization of Nigeria, resonate well with the vision of our university, which is combining academic excellence with the pursuit of national unity. And it also reflects the urgent need to align STEM into innovation and governance. I'm particularly excited about your collaboration with the Faculty of Science as co-host. The excitement can be justified when we view things from the perspective of research. Ladies and gentlemen, our faculty and our foundation and your foundation share a common vision. More so, this is our own first collaborative relationship with the Green STEM ECF. Here in the University of Abuja, our science, technology, engineering, and mathematics departments are engaged in a variety of research and activities. Our postgraduate students are active, and the environment is supportive of research and innovations. From what I can perceive and see here, abundant opportunities for both students, researchers, entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, our university is ever ready and open to collaborations like this. Consequently, I encourage the Green STEM not to relent in their effort to promote research and innovations in Nigeria. I wish to thank the Green STEM Educational and Charitable Foundation, our keynote speakers, the Department of Mathematics of my own dear university, researchers and participants. We appreciate also our acting vice chancellor for giving us the approval to co-host and attend this issue. Now, I am a professor of hydrobiology and fisheries, happen to be the Dean of Science. But just like what I have said, a lot of these researches are ongoing. But you know, visibility matters. And there is the need for us to join science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in innovations, industrial development, as well as even governance. Because all of us can agree that it is now time for STEM to be included, not only in Nigeria, but in the African context in governance. Because most of the politicians, their own language has failed us. So I think it is now the time for scientific knowledge, scientific theory to be involved in technology and governance, not only in Nigeria, but Africa in general. So I want to thank you very much. And the window is open. Please let us know where we can collaborate. Mutari Lawal is among us, so who is happen to be a link between us and you. And we are ever ready. The departments are open. Faculty of Science is open. Faculty of Engineering is open to research with the Green STEM. Please feel free to contact us at any time. University of Abuja is ever ready to collaborate with you. Thank you very much. You are welcome all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you very much. I think I want to pass the table across my colleagues here for a comment before we proceed regarding your speech. Dr. Chukuma first, please.
I think I was so excited when he said that this is the time for STEM. And that has always been my passion. See, industrialization cannot happen without STEM. We are deceiving ourselves. It's not any politician who uses STEM as a tool will always create and create development. It's not, I mean, at times I just wonder why our politicians are not seeing this, you know. So I'm really excited when he said this term. And I can tell you that it's not going to be given. It's true what we are talking about. For instance, we just say the young man that conduct research, he should go and give it to politicians and say, your environment is being damaged. People are dying. Do something about it. He will go his way. That's what it means. That you profess knowledge. You tell them. You raise the alarm, and there are things limit to what you can do. But I'm so excited that Professor has really gingered me and made us to understand that STEM is the way to go. Obafemi Awolowo was a lawyer, but a speech he made one year, I read it. He said that STEM should be placed at the center of development in Nigeria. He says STEM should be placed because when you think about economic power, okay, development, these are advancements in science. That's why Japan, Germany, US, UK, China, all is about STEM. It's a story of success of implementation of STEM policies in their jurisdiction. So thank you so much, Prof. And be assured that we will continue to collaborate with Uni Abuja. We are so excited and we are very grateful for this support and you're making our time to come. Thank you so much. Are you back to the coordinator, Perpetua?
Akande.
Pleasure.
Okay. On our list,
yeah, just sorry. I thought you wanted to comment on that wonderful speech before we answer that. Yeah, do you want to do that or?
Yeah, I can just add to what you've said. So yeah, the two comments we got already is fantastic because Prof, we really appreciate you joining us on this symposium. We do appreciate the welcoming hands you open to us at GreenSTEM. Yes, we know we have one of our own, Dr. Mutari, working with yourself, and we look forward to strengthening the relationship we have established. Our hope is to have a very big symposium, hybrid one that will take place that is going to involve a lot of gathering of participants or researchers across the Nigerian zones, gathering Abuja to celebrate GreenSTEM with yourself. So we really hope to achieve that by next year. And from now to next year, we put a concrete, plans, arrangement in place. We continue this conversation to ensure that that comes to reality. Thank you very much, Prof. I really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Professor. We can't thank you enough. Why? Because this is the collaboration that we in STEM, in GreenSTEM, we look forward to. And having someone like you that, again, your vision aligns with GreenSTEM vision. It's really amazing. And thank you for the highlighted opportunities in regards to collaboration as well and support. It truly aligns to the vision and mission of GreenSTEM. And we look forward to exploring ways through our Dr. Lawal so that we can continue to build on this momentum. All right, so with that, we move to the next agenda on the list. So
I can present if you want me.
Okay.
While we wait for others.
But Doctor, we don't know how much time we're going to have with the Prof here, so that we can also tap from his wealth of knowledge. I would suggest if we can have that open conversation on the theme of this symposium, so that Prof can also make some valuable contributions here. What do you think, Prof?
It's okay.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know schedule. Yeah.
Doctor, are you saying we should do the open conversation from now?
Yes, so before Prof, goes for his next engagement.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, and I can assure you, we see him as a father, and he's an advanced person. So we want to have this conversation before him so that he can also guide us, make input, and all of that. So that's why we want to take advantage of that, Prof, while you are still here.
You are welcome.
Yeah, so
sorry, Dr. Chukma, in addition to that, I think Dr. Ateme is also on the call, right?
Yes, he
Dr.
has been.
Dr. Ateme, are you still there?
Okay, I think maybe he has taken a break.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's continue.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much to everyone. At this point, we have what we call open conversation. Just feel free to raise your hand, make input, make contribution, change the direction of the conversation, because we want to generate enough conversation and insight. You can just pose a question, even if there is no answer to it. So just it's an open conversation. So we want to create that interactivity within this period. And we are going to have it on our team. It's going to be developing indigenous capacities and capabilities in STEM, in driving industrialization of Nigeria. So the keywords are there, the capacity. Think of capacity as what a container can contain. Okay, capabilities, think of the capability as the potential to do work. So we are looking at, we usually say Nigeria is a giant of Africa, sleeping giant. So when you say it's a giant, it's issue of capacity. And when you talk about sleeping, it's the issue of capability. So what we want to say is that how do we start fine-tuning, systematizing our capacity and abilities to use STEM to drive development? Because we know that everything about human life and livelihood is connected to STEM. So how do we move from just saying it to doing it? So what are the strategies? What are the issues? What are the barriers? What are the things we can do differently going forward? So I yield the floor. You can raise your hand and make your contribution. So I will keep quiet and wait for the next speaker.
Okay, can I quickly just speak before? Sorry,
yes,
I'm at
please,
work.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much for that welcome speech. That was powerful. We want to commend you. And like the director had just said, is in line with our vision. And as a way forward, I feel that the STEM members, they are capable hands and qualified as well. And there is no way we can drive national development without bringing the engineers in. And this forum is equipped with people that have what it takes to drive the development forward. So I feel that let's bring them to the place of leadership that can do a whole lot of things. Like Prof has said, is ready for the collaboration, the partnership. So I feel that the areas where, because some of these members here, we are not even in Nigeria. So the areas where we can come in, I feel that it should be made known to us so that each and every one of us that can come in to do that, we quickly come in, and by so doing, we can go to the other level where we want to be. Thank you very much.
Okay, just to also direct also, at this point, we are not just focusing on our collaboration with University of Abuja. We are talking about national. If you look at Nigeria as a system, how do we use STEM knowledge, enhance our capabilities and capacity to drive industrialization of Nigeria? So, so let's look at it from national perspective. So I'll yield to Dr. Lawal, please.
All right, thank you, Dr. Chukuma. I want to use this opportunity to thank Professor Dan Kishia for making it to this event. We really appreciate your input. So going forward to my contribution is that we have now agreed that STEM is important in driving industrialization in Nigeria. Then how do we acculturize or integrate that into the system of doing things, especially with regards to academic activities? So how do we make sure that whatever we do in our universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education are foolproof of corruption? Because corruption cannot be ruled out as one of the reasons why the use or the adoption of STEM as a standard operating procedure in Nigeria. How do we mitigate this corruption, especially in academic environments? So this is what I believe that the academic setting needs to set in motion. We need to raise the bar for our students, researchers, and lecturers, as well as even the government people that we interact with. We need to always make sure that we put research in their face. In whatever we do, we need to put research. If we are going to present anything, let's find a way to make them understand that, look, this is what research has found, and this is why we are going this direction. There should be no compromise. So that, I believe, can only happen if we raise the bar ourselves at the level of the lecturers, supervisors, researchers, making sure that whoever is ready to carry out research in STEM must be ready to to put his full weight into the research activity. Only this way we can make progress, because we have a situation where people are allowed, for instance, to pass PhD programs just because this is Nigeria. So we need to stop doing that. I'm not saying it's everywhere, but there are some cases. And we also see cases where politicians come into the universities and acquire degree under questionable circumstances. So this is because we are not raising the bar, or we are allowing our guards down and allow people to get away with insufficiencies, especially with regards to research. So if we can, at the level of academic environment, institute the use of research-based arguments for getting whatever we want, and for following, also making sure that we follow through from A to Z of whatever is required in that field area, then that is important. So I have spoken so long. To crown it up again, is that corruption has eaten into our system. And this is one of the reasons STEM is not making progress in Nigeria. And as a result, industrialization of Nigeria has been stalled. For us to fight that, we need to start at the level of education. Let's raise the bar. Let's raise the bar of academic excellence so that our students, researchers, and lecturers can actually help to us to achieve this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Prof, please.
Yes, I'm having a problem of network, but I'm back.
Okay, yeah, welcome back, Prof.
Yeah, thank you. You see, most of the people in government in Africa, not only in Nigeria, they have little knowledge, or they have been very about the contribution of STEM in innovations as well as governance. Now, first, we nice that will involve physically the people in government, so that they can attend and understand what STEM can do in terms of leadership, in terms of technology, innovation, as well as governance. Because it's like when you look at the structure of the governance now, they are only on one way. Too much stories, too much theories. Those practical aspects, those theory, mathematical theory or STEM theory, STEM structure, that can be able to give them way for innovation and governance, most of these leaders don't even know about it. So take an example. If we can call for this kind of symposium, even if you people over there can join us online, we can have a physical conference or a workshop or symposium where you invite the various stakeholders. You can invite the permanent secretaries. You can invite most of the commissioners of state government, wherever it is, so that let's assemble them and showcase STEM to them. I'm telling you, they will buy the idea. That is one. Now, another thing is that we in the research areas, we have been making a lot of researches, but most of these researches end up on the shelf. Now, it is now time that most of these STEM researches are being published in the local magazines, not necessarily international. Let's bring it down to the level where people can have these researches are for the learned people like me and you. I know where to Google to get most of these outcomes of researches. But what of those people at the rural areas? Now, let me give us an example. The federal government of Nigeria are trying to revamp the Ajaokuta steel rolling mill. Then of recent, we realized that most of the manhole in the city of Abuja has been stolen. The manhole is most of this drainage iron rod that cover the manhole for drainages. Water flooding can now flow into the main pipe. But because they are metals, people don't normally melt them to convert them into different structures. So they have been stolen. So luckily for us, the MD of Ajaokuta is from the physics department of my faculty. Then I invited them. I said, see, I don't allow this politician to tell you what to do. Go back to the indigenous capacity, build capacity-based. Use our local resources to manufacture manhole that have been stolen recently in Abuja. Present and showcase this production to the government, particularly the FCT minister. Let him know that indigenously we can be able to produce these structures. And he bought that idea and went back to Ajaokuta. Do you know that when he assembled most of the indigenous capacities and the capabilities they can be able to offer, they were able to produce locally manhole that we are thinking it can now replace most of the stolen manholes in Abuja. So those are the things that STEM need to do. Let's showcase all these things we have produced. Let's convert our researches into practical uses. If we can produce wheelbarrow, we can produce shovels. Let the local community see our production on ground. That yes, this is it. It is not PDP, it's not APC, it is not party, but this is what indigenously that we can be able to produce.
Are you done, Prof?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Prof, I must confess that I want to be your friend because I know that if anytime I talk to you, I will not bother about eating food again. So that's the way I live my life. So I'm blessed to listen to you today because you see, when I hear people like you, I start crying inside for one thing. And that one reason is that when are we going to prioritize ideas in the country? Because when we are talking about STEMs, academy, and all this, it's about ideas. And when people say ideas rule the world and all of that, so what we are saying is that how do we, our last symposium was, how do we connect educational, the research institutions, industry, and government policies? And you could just see the gap that if these three things come together. So I do not believe that Nigeria cannot become among the top 10 economies in the next 20 years if they harness the capabilities and capacity in Nigeria. What are we talking about? These metals we are talking about, natural resources we are talking about, or is it the human resources, or the space, or the water? What is it that we are lacking? And why is it that people are poor, hungry, and we cannot solve our problems? It is our inability to harness these ideas. And those ideas we are talking about is just allowing these people that have spent all their, at times I say, what a waste in Nigeria. You are paying lecturers to do research, to teach, and all of that, and you are not using it to develop the country. And if you look at it, if you look at the UK, Germany, US, all these countries, it is their institutes, their academy that is helping them to drive the economy, drive development. So I think that we should continue to have this conversation. And whenever we come to this symposium, each of us, we should continue to have the conversation as well in any space we find ourselves until one day I believe that some people will do something about it. Thank you so much, Prof. Your thoughts are well welcome, and we will certainly have our in-person well advertised. So the Greenstone, what we've agreed is that immediately we finish this, we'll start planning the next year's symposium, and it's going to be in-person and virtual. So permit me to yield to Dr. Barnabas Oshido. Dr. Barnabas, please, you can have your contribution. You are muted. Dr. Oshido. Yeah, you are still muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. My name is Dr. Barnabas Oshido. I'm calling from Benue State University, Makurdi. I want to first of all appreciate the organizers of this conference. This is actually the fourth Green STEM Symposium, but this is actually my first attendance. And I think I appreciate the level of conversation that is going on here. When you are talking about developing indigenous capacity and capabilities in STEM to drive industrialization of Nigeria, many things come to mind. Myself, I've had the opportunity of having my PhD in Newcastle University, and I've been back in Nigeria for about 5 to 6 years now, lecturing at Benue State University. And what I've realized is that after all the studies, developing the capacities and all of that, we are back here and then we cannot do the kind of research we're trained to do. And there are a lot of challenges we are facing at the moment, challenges of accessing funding, challenges of having access to functional equipment to do research, and then our working environment. So this kind of symposium is timely because it will help us have collaborations within scholars in Nigeria, and then probably have collaborations with other scholars abroad. And by doing that, we should be able to collaborate and then do some research. About the funding, there are a number of funding bodies in Nigeria, and without laying accusation or wherever, it is very difficult to access funding from them. And sometimes you would not even know the kind of things they are looking out for. So if you have a professional body organizing symposiums like this, whether virtual or in person, they could invite them to those such symposiums. Such professionals could even select projects and recommend to the founders to fund. For instance, a TED fund, they have what we call a National Research Fund. Probably much has not been coming out of it. So if professional bodies that are organizing symposiums like this, and then making recommendations to them with specific projects that is being vetted by professionals in Nigeria and abroad, then they will be funding projects that can have a big impact on Nigeria. And then about the equipment, information dissemination is very, very poor across here. You carry out a research, you want to do characterization. There are universities that have equipment. Most of their websites, you can't find this equipment there, so you wouldn't even tell if they have such equipment. So having this kind of symposium and then interacting with other researchers will make some of us know where and where to find certain equipment and how we can collaborate and make use of them. And then about working environment, the working environment in Nigeria at the moment is not very favorable, but if such recommendations can come from this kind of symposiums to probably certain organizations, then I think they will be able to do something about it. I want to appreciate Prof for his wonderful contribution. I'm looking forward to probably having some collaborations with them. My area is nanomaterials. I've been synthesizing different bio-nanomaterials, and then I've been having challenges of characterization and all of that. So if there are persons in University of Abuja that have access to some of these, if the University of Abuja have some of this equipment for characterization, I think I will appreciate, and it will be an opportunity to have a good collaboration with them. Thank you very much to the organizers, and I'm looking forward to the in-person symposium you are talking about as well. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Dr. Lawal, please.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Chukuma. I want to thank Dr. Barnabas for his contribution. So I think I align with him when he talked about not having a right working environment. And the other thing he said is he didn't know how much about how much TED Fund research grants goes. So that's why one of the things I said in the earlier on was that there is need for us to really find a way to mitigate the corruption in the system. Some of the reason why the TED funds may not go around is that there might be some sharp practices in that direction. So, and then we need to find a way of getting our discussion or whatever is our recommendations today. We need to find a way to get it across to the government. Very important. So I align with him also in that direction. Another, then let me quickly react to what Dr. Chukuma said regarding there is the gap between industry and the academia. I just want to make a little addition. Here, one of the problems is that there is some program, or there are some programs, that seek to link the industry with the academia or the research individuals. The problem is that most of them are working in silos, so there is no all-encompassing system or arrangement that seek that, okay, let us know what's really going on, then we can harmonize every program. For instance, I know of the oil industry, so they have a number of programs that seek to support researchers and connect researchers with the industry. So you see, for instance, Nigeria Association of Petroleum Explorationists having programs that support university lecturers, the same thing with Society of Petroleum Engineers. So I believe there are other industry-based support systems that seek to, advance research. So maybe it is time for us to find a way to harmonize or bring all these different efforts into one system such that we can easily track if we're making progress or not. Thank you.
Okay, that's a fantastic opportunity. To be honest with you, one of the things I've recommended in a different forum is you see, think of government building innovation centers at the geopolitical zone. Okay, now starting from nanomaterials, I mean the smallest molecules, or even quantum physics, quantum chemistry, up to building systems, manufacturing. Okay, so those labs, and they had the capacity. Are we saying that if the politician, if they agree that STEM is the way to go, I'm just making a contribution, and they say, okay, we are going to give, let's say, 20 billion to each geopolitical zone to establish these research centers. And the aim is, whether you are in state university or private university or entrepreneur, you can walk into this center, whatever the stage of your work is, whether you want to characterize materials, you want to perform experiment, or government is going to fund it, or it's going to have access. People can bring in their materials and characterize. People can use the facility. Then you now have a functional hubs where STEM and innovation can thrive. The problem is that when we scatter our capabilities and we are not systematizing it, it ends up producing nothing. So I completely agree with government intervention, because STEM is a very costly aspect of human knowledge. And like Lawal said, evidence-based, I mean, taking decision based on evidence. Okay, we want to produce this, we have the materials, this is the quantity. This thing can be done by Nigerians, And then, okay, this is what we now have, this is the next phase. That is a scientific way of solving problems. So I believe that we should continue to emphasize that STEM is the way to go. Probably someday someone will hear, and then they can do something about it. The government will now be developed, policies will now be developed to make it scientific based, because that is when opportunities will be unlocked. I don't know how we are doing in terms of time.
We'll run over, and I think we need to proceed now. If you have,
okay.
If you want to conclude this session, please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, in conclusion, we were going to draft our communique as usual. We'll send it to government agencies. The last time we sent to government agencies. Like I say, our own is to do our work, engage, publicize it, but we can only do what we can do. So, but we have to do our responsibility as people in academia and all of that. So we are going to summarize what we've discussed and send it to government, and then continue to engage with other partners and collaborators. Thank you so much for your contributions, and we'll continue to have the conversation. And please, next year's symposium, just record it. It's going to be hybrid, University of Abuja and the university and the virtual. And if you are interested in being part of the planning on GRISTEM, you are free to join, please. Okay. Are you back to you, Doc?
Okay. Thank you. I think this will be my last one, really. Now, thank you very much. That was very powerful conversation. And it's really an honor to have Professor Dankishia involved in that conversation and those insightful contributions from everyone as well. We'll take that forward. Now we will proceed with our presentations, and our next presenter should be Lassis, but I don't think I can see him here because we moved ahead of the schedule when he wasn't here. But if he's not here still, I will hand over to Dr. Chukuma if you want to do your presentation. So Dr. Chukuma is our lead technical person and our lead collaborator, our lead everything in STEM, in Green STEM. And today he'll be talking on the theme, developing indigenous capacities and capabilities in STEM to drive industrialization of Nigeria. Okay.
Coordinator, I think I said missed up there.
Yeah, that's the one he just did. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he'll be talking about domain-based system thinking. So he's also he'll be sharing thoughts on his talk, on his papers, on his publications. But one of them, which he wants to share with us, is on domain-based system thinking and creativity. Over to you, Dr. Chukuma.
Can you see it?
Okay, now yes, you can see it. And can I also highlight that he is the Deputy Associate Dean of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion at Waltham School, University of Loughborough, UK. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Chukuma. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank the ESCOs and the Board of Trustees of GreenSTEM, and I want to thank our participants today. I've enjoyed myself. I don't need lunch again. I've eaten enough. I feed on knowledge. That's why I go to where knowledge is shared. So thank you so much. So I wrote a book, and that book took me about 15 years to really write. It's one of those ideas that disturb you almost on daily basis. And finally, you are able to capture it and then document it. And then you feel that you're giving birth to a baby. That's my experience. And I decided to publish it myself so that I can always copy out things, share it, give it to people to read for free and all of that. I've shared it with some people. I shared it, broadly for people to read. But I think my observation is that people may not want to read books because the digital environment is so distracting nowadays. So I've decided to once in a while talk about it and then share knowledge individually and in fora like this. So I'll be discussing domain-based systems thinking and creativity. So enjoy yourself. And also look at how this topic is connected to STEM. Okay. So before I proceed, like our coordinator said, I'm a lecturer in Waltham School, Loughborough University, and a lot of people don't hear about Loughborough University, but Loughborough University is actually 7th out of 130. What? Please, can you mute yourself? Somebody mute him, please. So Loughborough University is actually he's 7th out of 130. So So if you are interested in Loughborough University, please let me know. I will welcome you. Whether you want to study for master's, undergraduate, or PhD, you're welcome. So for those in the UK, I want to invite you to Rich Staff Network Conference. It's a fantastic network. So please contact me if you're in the UK so that I can give you more information. It's going to hold on 10th September 2025. I seriously recommend this conference if you're in the UK. A lot of things will be discussed and a lot of people have been invited to speak. And our coordinator will be speaking in that conference, sharing how you can use staff network to influence university policies. So it's going to be a very important conference, and it's limited. So please let me know if you want to attend. So let me start my presentation by saying that the book I wrote about, I call it Questelligence Theory, and then the sub topics under it will be domain-based systems thinking. So if it's like we're talking about creativity, it's all about combining things to come up with something new. That's what creativity is about. Okay, and the more creative you can be, the more enjoyment you can derive from life. I want to say that again. You see, when we are still children, we are very creative. So we don't have constraints. But as we continue growing up, we pass through schools, they'll start telling us, no, you are wrong here. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't go this way. Oh, so that particular censoring and feedback from the environment will start stifling our creativity. So if you really want to be creative, you need to go back to your childhood where you are not afraid of making mistakes, where you are afraid of people laughing at you because of what you will say, because of how you will do things and all of that. You need to go back to that state. Okay, so, and that's one of the things I want to discuss today. So we need to really go back to that state where we are free to explore, free to combine things, free to even remove things and see what will happen. So that's what we are going to be discussing, and it's quite relevant to science. So Questelligence is from two keywords, question and intelligence. So my proposition there is that by asking questions, you become more intelligent. And that all the problems that have been solved, the flight, the train, the medications, and all of that are answers to a question that was posed. So the reverse of problem is solution. And that is why my argument has been that the more problems we have in Nigeria, the more opportunities. It's just about how do we reverse it. For instance, the problem of hunger and food is a question of maybe creating a system that can get food and deliver it to people. So that's what it is. So for every problem there's an inverted solution to it. And this brings us to what we study when we do you know integration is opposite of differentiation? So you see, when you take a line, when you integrate it, you form a surface. And when you integrate it again, you form a volume. So when you now differentiate a volume, you get a surface. When you differentiate a surface, you get a line or a point. So you see that problems are inverted solutions, or solutions are inverted problems. So opposite, they are the other side of a coin. Okay, so I want us to begin to think about how we can ask questions, because that is where we can generate intelligence. So Questelligence is about the capability to ask questions correlates with our intelligence. Okay, and because when we ask the right questions and follow through to get the right answer, we are going to discover, we are going to innovate, we are going to solve problems. So the second aspect is domain-based systems. So domain-based systems has to do with when we think in terms of domain. And that is where my work comes in. That I studied over the years, I noticed that there are 7 domains you can use to create, you can use to analyze, you can use to to reflect. Okay, so because human think, I was asking myself the other day, we usually see this thing, see this diagram, and we have data. From data, if you gather data, you then have information. So if you're able to systematize information, combination of information will give us knowledge. And then from knowledge, you can, if you understand the underlying principles in knowledge, you can get understanding. Then if you have that understanding, you can apply laws, and that will grant you wisdom. We naturally know that law of gravity, that no matter how, whatever we think, we can't just jump from a high, a height, because the law of gravity will harm us. That's wisdom. It's wisdom to avoid that. So there are some laws that are encoded in nature. We already know. We know that if we touch fire, it's going to burn us, because we don't need to learn thermodynamics. But the essence of science is then having theories and laws and principles and scientific methods to verify and apply this knowledge, the physics that is around us in the world. So that's where STEM comes in. When we are talking about systems thinking is about looking at anything. It could be social system, it could be physical system, it could be environmental system, biological system, okay, organizations, even nations. Nigeria is a system. So it's about where you have a whole with each component interacting to determine the behavior of the overall system, or where the overall system is now affecting the components within it. So when we are thinking about systems, we have to think in terms of the individual components, how they are interacting, and how those interactions is affecting the overall system, and how the overall system is influencing how the interactions is happening among the components. Okay, so this is the book I wrote, and it's a book that is very important to me. It's very, very important. So it's all available on Amazon. You can buy it, and yeah. So this is just one of the to give us an idea. I've explained system, but if you look at this diagram, you see what I'm saying. So when you have a system, so each system you can create a boundary around that system. Okay. Let me be using Nigeria. Okay. One other thing about systems thinking is model-based thinking, which means you take a model, and then, of course, we know in science that is one of the fundamental things in terms of scientific philosophies. Okay, you take a model and map it into physics. Okay, you take like this thing now. We can use, you can use this to refer to a power system, or even a community or an organization. So we have the boundaries of the system. So of course, Nigeria will have the boundaries, and then you have the components of the system. And it depends on the domain you want to think about. If you want to think about the geography, the geographical system, or the domain of the Nigerian system, so that's when you begin to think about the 6 geopolitical zones, the states, the local government. So those are components. And when you're analyzing it in that area, you may think about the geography. That's one domain. Then you can take a second domain, which might be the economy. And then you begin to see what is happening with respect to those geographies and economy, or education, or other domains. So the domains, and within the system, you have to focus on the domains and they see how the components are influencing those domains. Okay, so that's so the system, you have the components, you have the inputs, you have the outputs. We've been talking about capacities and capabilities. Nigeria it's just that we don't have systems to harness our capabilities. Take for instance, somebody mentioned that they have my good friend teaching in Makurdi. Okay, so government have probably TED Fund, PTDF, NIDA, and all these scholarships. They've managed to spend millions of naira to train Nigerians. But how do you want to integrate them to harness that capability? And that is one of the motivation of Green STEM, that we want to create a forum where we can start talking about STEM in Nigeria, talking about development, national development. So the PTDF, they've done their part by using a systematic process to recruit the best brains, train them, but the Nigerian system as a system is unable to then absorb and utilize and enhance these capabilities. Is it not a huge waste that at times you get the best minds in Nigeria, train them, and do nothing with them? Do not, as in national development. Like I said, that's why we are contributing to raise the consciousness of what Nigeria can do with STEM and the capabilities and capacities Nigeria can do, can harness using our STEM knowledge and the human capital development that is, scattered all over. So we have input. Money is an input. Enabling environment and human resources, natural resources, minerals. These are inputs that can help Nigeria to industrialize. So, of course, we know that the boundary of Nigeria, of course, we have the boundary, Nigeria as a geographical location. So we don't have outputs. What are the outputs? The Nigeria, if you read the reports like the World Bank, UNICEF, those are outputs coming out from Nigeria. So they tell us we are hungry. They tell us we are poor. They tell us we are lacking in so. They tell us we are corrupt. It is the interactions happening within the system that is producing all these outputs. Okay, so the question is now, how do we engineer Nigeria to start bringing out output, good output, that people have abundance, that you can go to school, when you want to go to school, that you can have the enabling environment. So these are the 7 domains. The objective domain, I will talk briefly about the objective domain. When you think of objective domain, you are thinking about what is the purpose of my thoughts? What do I want to think about? What is the problem I want to solve? The purpose, the intention, the objective. Now, the place domain could be virtual space, it could be physical space, it could be even an abstract location. So, and again, I want you to understand that when we talk about thinking, the mind at times doesn't even differentiate between, what the virtual space and the physical space, which means that you can actually design something and develop something virtually and then implement it physically. And also you can take something from the physical space and take it to virtual space. So I want you to start removing boundaries in your mind. I want you to make your mind fluidic. Let it be fluid. Be able to move from one state to another in your mind. So when you're thinking about, we are not talking about virtual space. It's not only in virtual space that things can happen. You think of e-commerce. Remember, before e-commerce, people they are even afraid to buy anything online. But now you stay in your house with your mobile line, you do almost 80% of your transactions with your mobile phone. So innovation changes the way people think. Innovation changes the way people do things. And part of the essence of science is to begin to recreate our environment that God has given to us to improve our life and the way we live in Nigeria. So when we are talking about specifics, we are talking about a place out of many places, a location out of a process out of many processes. Reason has to do with the rationale, the logical thinking in your connecting place, people, time, processes, and all of that. The time has to do with present, past, and the future. And the process has to do with the process of transformation of things. How do you move from one state to the other? And people has to do with organizations, government, state, individuals, companies, and all of that. So when you are now thinking in domains, you are now taking bits and pieces from these domains and combine them to ask questions, reflect, or analyze. So I give you a typical framework, which we are going to use in the future. We have a performance objective model by Slack. So it's used to create, if you want to create a new company, you can select what you want your company to compete with in the industry. You can say, okay, we want to be the best quality. We want to be the lowest cost. We want to be dependable. We want to be flexible. We want to compete on speed. Speed, if our customer places an order, we want to serve the customer as quickly as possible, better than any other person. Quality, let it be fit for purpose. Let it be fit for use. cost, let it offer value at the lowest cost. Dependability, if we deal with our customer places an order, the customer will receive it and in full. Flexibility, the customer may want a bigger size of a product or smaller size of a product and all of that. So these are domains. So what I'm now saying is that you then think of these as domains. If you are using this for analysis or to create your organization or to improve your organization. So you are now looking at each of them as a domain. So you have a domain of quality, you have a domain of cost, then you have a domain of speed or any other. For instance, you can think of safety, you can think of sustainability. There are other things you can include in this. So it's not limited to this. It's based on what you want to create. So you can then, so these are the domains, which is your priorities. You can call it priorities. So these are your priorities. And from these, your priorities, you can then start digging deep. And how, when I perform permutation and combination based on these 7 domains, surprisingly, I had 127 outcomes, which means you can combine these 7 domains into 127 ways. And I usually say that if you can think about a set of problems in 127 ways, it means that you should not say, I don't have idea or I don't know what to do. Because you certainly can do a lot of things. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to really help people to think differently about things. And this is linked to also critical thinking. For instance, you can think of, okay, what's the objective? Okay, what I want to do, where do I need to do it? I need to take this sequence A, B, C. Item A, where is it going to take place? Item B, where is it going to take? So if you keep thinking that way, you see that ideas will start popping up. You start creating the entire, and of course, as you are thinking that way at the micro level, you're also thinking at the systems level. How is it going to affect the entire system? How is it going to affect the entire organization or the entire even engineered system? Okay, when I talk about engineered system, we're talking about cars, power plants, and other systems that you can configure, because these are also applicable. So that when you change a component or the behavior of a component or the criteria, that it may begin to affect other aspects of it. Let me give you an instance. When you talk about cost of energy, okay, so the cost of energy could be a function of the source of the energy. Okay, if the cost of the energy is a function of the source of the energy, then you can check the available sources, and the source of the energy could also be linked to access to the source of the energy, and then how it would then influence the cost of the energy. A 2K example is that if you are talking about, so this can help you to configure the entire energy system to create a low cost. I give you an example. In terms of power generation, from my research during my PhD, I noticed that the northern Nigeria, in fact, the level of solar energy there is too much. So can the national policy focus on renewable in the north? Why in Niger Delta can we leverage gas? Okay, so the gas policy in terms of industrialization, can we leverage more on gas infrastructure? Why? Because we have the gas closer there. The pipeline that can take gas, I'm not saying you can still do that, because in terms of industrialization, you need gas. I just want us to zero down into that energy source and how we can get cheap, clean, and affordable energy. That's what we are. So another thing about domain-based thinking, that it helps you to focus on the domains and focus only on those domains. Of course, when you are done, you can then open up the space and bring in more variables and consider them. You keep expanding them, and of course, until you reach your conclusion. Now, what can help people to think in this way is what I created. I call it the typologies or principles of polarity. So what that means is that, we talk about thought experiment. Thought experiment is that you just look at variables and see the dynamics, okay? So statics is when you're looking at something still. If a car is parked, that's statics. Anything you are looking at, if you are looking at a car from that perspective, it's statics. But when the car starts moving, then you're now talking about dynamics. So we have to look at things beyond statics, which is just, how things will look and all that. No, when you start implementing, when you start operationalizing, what those variables that you have included, how are they going to be behaving, and how are they going to be kept within control, within this, how are you going to control them within the system? So what can help people to do that is this table I created. I call it typologies. And by typologies, I mean that it's just a form, okay? It's just a form of relationship in the physical world, which means, I give you an example. If you take natural cause. So what I'm saying is that natural cause is when you are increasing a quantity, another variables that correlate with that quantity will also increase. That is that. So in physics, in science, you can, if you want to investigate two variables, the first thing is to step back and ask yourself, okay, naturally, how are they behaving? If something is increasing, think of a concentration. Okay, you will know that if you're increasing the mass of a substance within a liquid, that the concentration will also be increasing. Okay, so and the potency of the solution will also be increasing. So it's just natural that as the other one is increasing, the other one is increasing. That's natural. Of course, the reverse of it is that as you are reducing the other quantity is also reduced, the other variable is also reduced, or the other variable is. So another one is the decay or deterioration relationship. So in that thought experiment, what you are looking at is that when something is good and something is now, a causative factor is now generating degradation. So you can now see that it is that causative factor that if you want the system to be sustained, is that causative factor that you should. A typical example is corruption in Nigeria. Corruption is degrading the Nigerian system, as somebody, Dr. Lawal mentioned. So it's the mechanism of corruption that we should target if we want to solve the problem of corruption. And one of the examples is just using technology. If you use technology now, okay, these tax laws, I understand that they are going to implement it using technology. If you are collecting tax and the human beings are not involved, so you pay your tax from your phone, or everything goes to government account. Corruption reduce. Another one, that's not the end. Then you have to say, okay, how do we spend the money? So if you are spending the money should go to the right people, and also monitor how they are spent. You just see that the overall impact of that taxation system will begin to improve the economy and the well-being of Nigeria. So that's what I'm saying. So the decay function is a situation where something is good and a mechanism is now degrading it. And of course, that principle is also what cancer science is using. So the human body is good, cancer start developing, and the whole body system start deteriorating. So it's the mechanism of cancer metastasis that scientists are targeting to stop it or to remove it so that the body will continue to be normal. So there are also a situation that is bad, you implement a mechanism to improve it and it become good. That's continuous improvement. We want our systems to be better. There are also unintended consequences. Okay, think of when our president said fuel subsidy is down. I think he said it innocently, to be honest. But the unintended consequences then took effect in the Nigerian system, and we are still struggling and suffering from that impact today. So we have moderation where something is good, but you have to reduce it, and that's why we tell people to act moderately. Even eating too much food is problematic. Okay, so we just have to reduce it so that we will operate at the optimal level. So there are different, and I'm just giving instances. There are different. So when you are thinking creatively, you are now doing this thought experiment. Okay, your decision-making processes the kind of conclusions you reach, you can perform this experiment before you even set it up. We have a shock, which is a situation where you degrade a system, and that system, even become better. And I think a typical example, they are bound. That we usually see it in movies, but there are situations where something is expected to come out in a negative way, and it turned out to come out in a positive way. We have to study the mechanism, and of course, we have no effect where whether you are improving or whether you are decreasing, there is no effect. Okay, a typical example is when somebody is not responding to treatment, or where whatever we do to corruption in Nigeria is not working. It's not showing in fact, it's getting worse. So I'll give you an example of how I apply this domain-based thinking with respect to SDG. I'm a fan of Sustainable Development Goals. As we know, the Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 of them, and that is what the United Nations is using to support development of the world. So it's more of a framework for developing the world. So when I did permutation and combination, I realized that there are 131,071 ways you can focus on these SDGs. You can see it's too much. You can't do that. Okay, even with computer, you can't do that. So when I analyze it further, I noticed that for these 17 goals, if you are able to formulate just about combination of 8 or 9 of them, you are going to get the optimal point. And this led me to begin to think, is it not even better that all the ministries in Nigeria, we just have about 10 ministries, or maximum of 15 ministries? So what are those ministries? Ministry of Finance, Energy and Environment, Education, Justice, and all of that. And then you take all these sustainable development goals and embed in those 15, maximum of 15 ministries in Nigeria, because Nigeria is quite big. So you could see that by dividing and disintegrating pursuing all these 130 something, 131,007, that's not effective. So there is an optimal point where you have to coalesce ideas and then pursue them to make more impact. I want to start talking about application of this because one of the things I do is to mainstream domain-based thinking in my teaching and research in my university, which I'm really enjoying myself because I like doing the kind of research I want. So this domain-based thinking, you can use it for brainstorming, you can use it to generate ideas. And this is the way one of my students used it, and I really liked the way my students used it. So we are talking about supply chain management, and the student wanted to design a supply chain for a product, and the student talked about the process. Okay, there was a process of sourcing raw materials. Okay, how do I source my raw materials? Okay, where do I source my raw materials? Who should I source it from? Okay, so you can use domain-based thinking to really do the first level of brainstorming of any idea. Remember that as long as the thoughts will take place in the mind, or even in AI model, you can use domain-based systems to guide your thinking. Again, recently, I also worked with my project students. So this philosophy is also helping me to create things. These 2 projects are projects done by my students, and they were able to evidence the process. It's not about the size of the object, but the learning embedded in the process of creating this object, which aligns with their discipline. Okay, and of course, they pass very well. Okay, so you can see how this philosophy is helping me in my teaching and also research. And of course, this device, we are going to use it to continue to do research. A second case study is, how many minutes?
Sorry, Doctor.
How many minutes?
Of course, you ran over and beyond. You have 5 more minutes, please.
Okay, 5 minutes is okay. So this is a situation where this is a master's student, and the student created a Python code, And that Python code then, he asked some people questions, and then he used a Python code to categorize what people are thinking about. It's more of a sentiment analysis. Then from the sentiment analysis, you can then key your outcome into your of course, you generate intelligence and then know what people are thinking about and where they are focusing on, and then you can then know how to manage it. So for instance, the student asked them, do you trust that the toys you buy are safe and of good quality? Why and why not? This is an open question, and people respond. If you look at it, you begin to see what people are talking about. Some people just say outrightly yes. Some people say in responding, they still mention trust. In some people, they mention the object, which is a toy. So then if you keep going, you may begin to see that some people are also talking about the materials, the safety, and this could then give you intelligence on how to exploit, okay, the thought of your customers or client in developing the product they want or improving the systems for their better experience. This is still how the student applied it in the analysis of the risk. The student talked about the domain risk, domain-based risks, the objective risk, people risk, process risk, and all of that. And of course, he talked about the consequences and he developed a mitigation plan for those risks. So this is a different study by a student. The student used the SLAC model, which is the quality cost dependent, but the student didn't show it, but that was the framework for the analysis. So when the student asks the users of a product, which is trainers, they say, which of these factors influence your buying decision for new trainers? So most of them say it's the quality. So it's not even the price. And this gives you an intelligence that it's not about making cheaper trainers. That if you make quality trainers, that is better. You are more likely to sell more than just making lower. Of course, price was the second variable. Then you can then think about how can I create quality and low cost trainers? That's combining two domains now. So, and of course, the essence of these questions is to generate intelligence, and the intelligence will now guide you on how to act. So the student also proceeded. We then looked at how do people dispose. A lot of people, they dispose it through the bin. Now, from circular economy perspective, if a lot of people dispose their shoes in bin, what campaign should be done so that they can dispose it in a different way? And that's what intelligent data. So depending on the data, one of the things I realized in human mind is that you can have a set of data and look at it from different angles. So how you look at this data depends on your creativity. And that's why we are talking about creativity this morning. So the next step is that I want to continue to enjoy myself by applying these in solving problems. I even use it to solve my personal problems, solving problems, designing research in my collaborations, in the way I do things, and of course, share the evidence with people and collaborate with others. So yeah, I'm open to collaborations and applications. If you have a company and you have a problem, you want to solve it, of course, I can implement this for you. We look at the outcome. Because the more I implement, the more I learn. With this, I want to say a very big thank you for the opportunity, and then I will yield back to the coordinator. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chukwuma. That was very insightful. Can I hand over to Dr. Mercy to anchor questions and suggestions? And then Dr. Jude to carry on with introducing other speakers. Dr. Mercy, please, excuse, please, can we keep our eye on the group chat so we are updated? Dr. Mercy, are you there, please? Okay, so it looks like we lost her. Okay, right. Dr. Jude, are you available by any chance? While we're waiting for them, can I ask if anybody have any question or any contribution to this amazing presentation from Dr. Chukwuma? I've learned a lot myself. It's a great work, and to see the implementations, seeing students implement using that in the processes, in terms of using that to study, in terms of teaching and research and processes, is amazing, Dr. Chukwuma. Well done. Does anybody have any contribution, please, or question for Dr. Chukwuma?
Doctor
Lawal, over to you.
Thank you very much. I want to say kudos to Dr. Chukwuma. It was quite rich and very lengthy as well for me. So I just want to make these contributions. First of all, a suggestion that maybe in your subsequent presentation, you can take it topic by topic. I'm sure you have done a lot of work to try to break this down to some level that we can understand. Maybe the next one, you can take one aspect of what you want us to, how you want us to use to solve a particular problem, you know, and we just focus on that problem so that people can internalize this concept and easy for us to apply. For instance, you talked about using this kind of system to make decision on what to produce. I have read some books previously that talked about the blue ocean strategy, how companies are using low cost approach to reduce price and make, you know, and make still make a profit that is reasonable for the company. So in this case, I heard you towards the end of your presentation that you should not only focus on low cost, but also quality. So how do you approach low cost and keep quality at the same time using your concept? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I hand over to, do we have any other hand up? Any other
I think expecting a response from Dr. Chukwuma. Dr. Lawal?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll give you an insight to that. But before I answer that, I just want to say that domain-based systems and systematic thinking is a way of thinking. So it's not for science, it's for everybody. Okay, so it's about thinking in systems, which means understanding that you as an individual is having impact on the world. You as an individual is having impact from your family, yourself, your family, your community, your nation, the world. Okay, you see how you are connected to the world, and we you know, it's very much. Then you then begin to look at your interaction again within these levels. Okay, so what I'm saying is that domain-based systems is not a tool for scientists or for social science. It's about the world is built in systems. That's the way nature designs systems. And understanding that, yes, parts influence whole and whole influence parts is what systems thinking is about. So thinking in now domains is now, like you suggested, pinning down an aspect you want to consider with respect to the system. And the system could be an engineered system, a physical system, or natural systems. So you are now thinking in terms of how does this small bit connect to the whole, and how does the whole affect the small bits and pieces. So to answer your question, a typical example of how you can think about cost and quality is through supply chain management. Okay, in supply chain management, what you are doing, you can, if you don't have the capacity to manufacture quality products, you can outsource that capability to a company that can manufacture it. You may not also have the license to manufacture it. You can outsource. So the decision to outsource, which is under make or buy decision, can then help you to bring in quality, incorporate it into your system, and then produce. A typical example is if you look at a car, a typical company manufacturing car, whether Mercedes, BMW, they don't manufacture all the components. They buy all the components across the globe, the US, Germany, and then bring it to their factory and assemble them. Okay, so what we are now saying is that if for instance, a component is of low quality, that single component that is of low quality could affect the entire car. So that's why a minimum quality level should be expected for all the components in the first instance for you to have a functioning system. You know, a plug can demobilize a car. Without a plug, you can't even move the entire car. So each component of a car interact to determine the behavior of the whole system. So I think if we look at quality management, supply chain management, those are the domains where you can actually target improving cost, of course, reducing the cost and then improving quality. And yeah. So I yield back to Perpetua.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can I tell us that our guest speaker, he has sent a video recording, and I can actually play it if we are ready to listen to it.
Right. All right. Yeah, I think at this point, we're happy to hear from the guest speaker. And after that, Dr. Kande, can I hand... Dr. Jude, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. And I don't know, maybe it's good if you can take a break anyway, because we have been...
So I can introduce this
okay, yeah.
speaker before we listen to his...
that would be great. We can take, let's say, 5 minutes break. How many minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes is okay. So 5 minutes break, it's okay. And when we're back, I'll hand you over to Dr. Jide. Could you start by introducing... Oh, well, Dr. Akande, sorry, was doing the introduction to the speaker before we played that. And after that, Dr. Jide, you can now introduce the next speaker. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that.
Across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge, participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes! First prize is 500,000 naira, second prize is 300,000 naira, and third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspiring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and make challenge 2025. Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Got more information at www.gixel.com or email us at info@dialogixel.com. Let's bring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and Make Challenge 25. Calling undergraduates and postgraduates, students in universities, polytechnics, monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills, stand a chance to win one of the financial prize. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogix.com or email us at info@dialogix.com. Inspire the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it.
Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics, and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogix.com or email us at info@dialogix.com. Inspiring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and Make Challenge 2025. Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win
challenge. 25. Calling undergraduates and postgraduates, students in universities, polytechnics, monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills, stand a chance to win one of the financial prize. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspire the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it.
Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics, and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspiring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and make challenge 2025. Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Got more information at www.dialogix.com or email us at info@dialogix.com. Let's bring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and make challenge 25. Calling undergraduates and postgraduates, students in universities, polytechnics, monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills, stand a chance to win one of the financial prize. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspire the next generation of African innovators.
Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics, and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes! First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspiring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and Make Challenge 2025. Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Got more information at www.dialogixo.com or email us at info@dialogixo.com. Let's bring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and Make Challenge 25. Calling undergraduates and postgraduates, students in universities, polytechnics, monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills, stand a chance to win one of the financial prize. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspire the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it.
Calling undergraduates and postgraduate students in universities, polytechnics, and monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental STEM challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills and stand a chance to win one of the financial prizes! First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspiring the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it. Inform your family and friends.
Design and Make Challenge 2025. Calling undergraduates challenge. 25. Calling undergraduates and postgraduates, students in universities, polytechnics, monotechnics across Africa to participate in this continental challenge. Participants will learn technical and non-technical skills, stand a chance to win one of the financial prize. First prize is 500,000 naira. Second prize is 300,000 naira. And third prize is 200,000 naira. Get more information at www.dialogics.com or email us at info@dialogics.com. Inspire the next generation of African innovators. Be proudly part of it.
Okay, are we back?
Yes, I believe.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Let me know when you want us to start so that I can share the. Should I share it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me do a short introduction before we get started, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
We've got a keynote speaker for today's symposium. We are lucky to have Dr. Salis Uba, FCIPS, volunteer to make this year keynote speaker presentation. Dr. Salis Uba is a chief executive officer, CEO, and founder of NatQuest Limited. He's also an adjunct assistant professor at Satellite University in Scotland, United Kingdom. Dr. Salis Uba is a research scholar and has been making significant impact in his discipline. We are happy to welcome you to make this year's symposium keynote speak presentation. Are you ready to go now?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Is the
Thank you
audio?
so much,
Can you hear
colleagues, guests and friends.
Can you hear?
It's my absolute pleasure to join you virtually from London. And unfortunately, due to an urgent situation, I will not be able to join or dial in during the live session. However, I want to use this opportunity to share my keynote address with the participants of this great conference of the Green STEM ECF Nigeria Symposium 2025. Now, the title of my address is Human Capital for Industrial Transformation in an AI-enabled Nigeria. And I want to focus on what the challenges and the opportunities ahead are. My name is Salis Uba. For anyone that is not familiar with who I am, I'm currently the CEO of NatQuest. NatQuest is a supply chain technology company based in the UK and operates globally. And I also serve as an adjunct professor at the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow. So it's my absolute pleasure to be part of this really interesting symposium, and thanks to all the participants, particularly to the organizers, my friends, my colleagues, for this amazing initiative. Now, it is important that we recognize that today my contribution to this interesting gathering is how can Nigeria harness its human capital in order to transform industries in an era of increasingly adoption of AI. Now, today, there is no any abstract debates about whether Nigeria will compete in global economy or remain on the margin. It is about jobs, industries, and the future of young people. So where Nigeria stands today? Nigeria has the largest youth population in Africa, yet millions of youths and young people are unemployed or underemployed. At the same time, industries complain that they cannot find the right skills. This is a massive paradox. People without jobs and the jobs without people. Now, our industries should focus on finding the right balance. Think about today, many industries or factories that we have today run on outdated equipment. We still rely on importation of heavy and productivity of both talent and equipment, especially in places like the oil and gas. Meanwhile, across the world, AI automations are changing how industries function, from predictive maintenance in factories to machine learning in agriculture. So I believe if we do not act, Nigeria risks being a consumer of technology rather than a contributor to it. Now I'll focus on 3 key areas. Human capital gap. Number 1, skill mismatch. Our educational system often prefers students to, to go through a system, not obviously for the future of how the skill required and of course the skill acquired can match for the future of industries, particularly in STEM areas. We have weak industry and academia collaboration. It's very difficult for you to see an industry, across sectors, leveraging on the universities or the academic institutions that we have in order to align priorities. Policy gap, right? National strategy are drafted, but not followed through. You have human capital development institutions, but at the end of the day, they are all fragmented. Now, so what are the key opportunities that I see for an AI-enabled industrial ecosystem in Nigeria? We all know that we have incredible startup ecosystem in Nigeria. Many of them are competing at global stage. So I want to narrow down specifically to some key sectors: agriculture and agro-processing. This is a very key, interesting industry and will serve as the largest employer in Nigeria, but it's still, largely manual and inefficient. Today, we are seeing AI-enabled tools that can predict, manage soil health, reduce waste, and even accelerate the process of agro-processing. So this means food processed locally, with higher potential for export and of course post-harvest economic benefits. Secondly is manufacturing and assembly. Really interesting area, massive opportunity. But most Nigerian factories suffer from, frequent downtime, low efficiency. So today we have AI-powered tools that are accessible, can do things like predictive maintenance, reduce, breakdowns, simple robotic process automation. This is a massive opportunity that can attract and put Nigeria at a global stage. Construction and infrastructure, really interesting area because we need more houses. We need more infrastructure. We need basic shelter. So today we have AI-driven project management, that can cost, fractional amount compared to what other, developed countries are paying. We can develop these solutions in-house. These are things that can reduce delay, reduce fraudulent practices in procurement of construction material, bill of quantities, managing efficient supply chains. We have seen drones that are powered by AI, providing incredible opportunity for the industry to be efficient. This could be a transformative, rapid development within the sector. And finally, healthcare and pharmaceuticals. As Nigerians, we import, large amount of, medical equipment and pharmaceuticals. But today we are seeing the application of AI-powered, systems, tools, and applications that can provide easy access to healthcare. And I think this is a very interesting area that we should focus. Now, what are the practical pathways forwards? Now, I believe, especially that we are talking about STEM, education, contribution to national industrialization, transforming supply chain, to be more, economically viable to everyone and every industry. I believe Nigeria has the opportunity, to tap into this massive growing industry. But we have to do, number one, curriculum redesign for STEM, because STEM is key to how industries can be transformed. We must overhaul education. The graduate must leave universities with practical exposure and modern industrial tools. We need more, secondly, industry-led training collaborations. Think about this, where industries should not just wait for universities alone. Manufacturing firms, oil and gas companies, technology providers, startups can work in an ecosystem. This can create an immediate pipeline of industry-ready talents and impact. We need a national AI internship schemes. And this should be a structured program to place young Nigerians into AI-powered companies, startups, companies that are doing, initiatives in AI to look for opportunities, both locally and abroad. We also need industrial cluster with AI support. And then finally, mobilizing Nigerian diaspora, which is key. And I'm glad to see that there's new development in particularly education sector to bring that level of collaboration. But we must not just ignore the challenges. Some of these challenges, they are concerned around job displacement, ethical, considerations and regulations, infrastructural weakness. These are all key things that we cannot ignore. And I think for us to reframe human capital for an industrial transformation in Nigeria, we must change how we think about Nigerian youths, education, and industrialization, because they are correlated. And too often, they are described as job seekers waiting for opportunities, specifically the Nigerian youths. And instead, for me, I see the opportunity. I see the big picture. They must be positive. They must think about problem solving initiatives, opportunities into entrepreneurship. Today, AI should be a catalyst. We should not just see AI as a threat to Nigerian workers or industries. It should be seen as a forceful multiplier effect, from creativity, to productivity. Industrialization in itself is not about machines alone. It's about the people, the engineers, the data scientists, the technicians, the entrepreneurs. So with the right skills, we can turn ideas into products, resources for industrialization. So finally, to conclude my remark, obviously, I believe this is an incredible time. Massive opportunities, access to information, access to tools, powerful technology. But the question is, what would it take for Nigeria to become the talent hub for an AI-enabled industries in Africa, rather than just a consumer of imported products? I believe most Nigerians are using the likes of ChatGPT platforms and others. How can we part of development of this massive industry? Number two, how can we redesign education so that every Nigerian graduate leaves with at least one practical AI-related industrial skill? And my last question to you is, if Nigeria allocated even a modest share of an oil revenue into STEM, particularly focus on human capital development, what would our industrial economy look like, say, in 2030 or 2035? So, gentlemen and ladies, the answer to the above questions will not be found abroad. But I believe, I'm absolutely clear, they will be found here in Nigeria by Nigerians, drawing from our greatest resources, our people. So, ladies and gentlemen, the challenges are many, but the opportunities are greater. Industrial transformation will not only be imported. I believe it will be imagined, redesigned, built here in Nigeria based on our human capital development and the power of AI. Thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, I'm not here in person, and perhaps I did not dine in during the session due to some really urgent reasons. However, if you have any question, or you want to share anything with me, or ask anything, or anything that you think we should have conversation about, I'm more than happy to hear from you. I'll drop my email and my LinkedIn profile page. We could have conversation after the event. Thank you so much indeed, and thanks to all the organizers. Particularly, I want to really appreciate the the support of the ESCOs, or perhaps the management of the STEM organization. Particularly my very good friend and colleague within the the STEM charitable organization. So thank you so much all, and I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully very soon. Thank you indeed. Thank you. Cheers.
Wow, that was a nice one. Yeah.
All right. We thank the keynote speaker for this fantastic presentation. And as this Dr. Salisu Ba said, if you have any questions, just feel free to drop your questions, and we'll make sure it gets to him, and we provide your his response back to you anyway. So moving to the next agenda, we will have our presentation from Dr. Waheed Akande and Ahmed Rashid. Dr. Waheed Akande happens to also be our Fiona BOT chairman for the Green STEM, and also is COMEX certified geoscientist, a data analyst, and also a PTDF scholars with a PhD in geology from the University of Aberdeen. He is passionate about capacity building, sustainability, and advancing clean energy and its works as particularly focuses on geothermal energy development and assessing environmental impact of seismic event. And it will be doing this, his presentation will be on AI and the Nigerian student, awareness, usage, and ethical reflections in the age of digital educations. And they will be sharing their preliminary findings. And it will be presenting with Ahmed Rashid, who happens to be a faculty staff at the Department of Geology, Federal University of Technology, Minna, and also Department of Geology, Faculty of Science, University of Ibadan. Dr. White Akande, are you ready for your presentation, please?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Just a point of correction, because this symposium is being recorded. So Rashid Ahmed is my mentee, and he was a student at those places you just mentioned, so it's not faculty staff. Okay. Just to set the record straight. Okay. Thank you for having me for this presentation. I will share my screen just now. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity to present these preliminary findings at this year's symposium of the Green STEM. Yes, the title of this work is AI and the Nigerian Student: Awareness, Usage, and Ethical Reflections in the Age of Digital Education. We just listened to Dr. Salisu Buba, who made a lot of comments and remarks regarding adoption of AI in Nigeria. So this presentation aligns with what he just discussed with us. So in terms of presentation, this is going to be the rough outline to follow. I will talk about introduction, short introduction, then I will state the aim, the objectives of this research, then I will briefly talk about the methodology, then present the results we gathered so far, and then conclude and make certain recommendations. Yes, here we are. Artificial intelligence is at the front line of digital, tech at the global space at the moment, and AI transformative potential in Africa, especially in Nigeria education, becomes paramount at the moment. And the recent research found that there's still a bit of low awareness and limited access among our students back home. And a survey conducted by Nwodu in 2025 still recorded that we still do have low accessibility or access to AI, tech in Nigeria. And our own adoption patterns need systematic understanding because we do have infrastructural challenges. That's according to another study. And there are risks and rewards of AI, and depending on how this is being used and how we balance things up. And of course, we do have some threats, as the keynote speaker highlighted, and concerns around the adoption of AI. So what the other studies remark was that systematic integration is still at the infancy stage in Nigeria, but it looks promising. And in order to achieve this, we need more in terms of infrastructural design, teachers training, and best practices guidelines, which remain limited at the moment. Yet, artificial intelligence has become just like Hode's Google that we used to look for information. So what really comes to your mind when you want to search for anything these days is to use any AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Poe, and so on and so forth. In terms of the aim for this research, so the overall aim is to investigate the level of awareness, pattern of usage, ethical considerations, and adaptability of our students in high school and the university level towards AI tools in academic context. And the overall goal is to inform responsible integration of this tool into our educational policy and digital curriculum design. This slide shows the summary of the objectives for this work. So the first one is to assess the awareness of popular AI tools among our students and secondary school and university level or other institutions. Is to also identify key demographic factors that affect usage, like age, access to devices, school type, and all of that. And also to analyze usage patterns of AI in academic tasks such as writing, studying, and research, and also to explore ethical attitudes toward AI-assisted learning and its alignment with academic integrity. And another objective is to evaluate passive impact of AI tools on academic performance and confidence. We also seek to understand student adaptability to new technology, such as AI. Also to gather student perspective on whether AI should be integrated into school curricula and how this one should be regulated. And the final objective will be to generate evidence-based recommendations to support responsible, equitable AI adoption in Nigerian education system. Research methodology. So to gather data for this, so we try to design a Google form where we have our questions in the questionnaire, and this was sectionalized into about 6 different sections, and that's to cover demographic profile, to cover awareness, to determine usage patterns, and to also look at ethical consideration or reflections, and also to look at the academic impact of this tool, and also see how people adapt to using AI and their policy relevance. So these slides, I'm not going to go through it in details. It shows the details for all the questions that were asked in the questionnaire for all the sections that were considered in the study. So I'll jump straight ahead to the results. So the first study here shows the AI awareness across secondary, high school, and universities in Nigeria from the data we gathered so far from about 165 respondents. So ChatGPT is most recognized AI tool that our people use back home just now. That's followed by Gemini, Claude, and Poe with lower recognition rate. And awareness stem mostly from peer conversations and social media. So if you look at visual representation on the right, you see we have many people, like 88%, selecting ChatGPT as the tool that they had of, followed by Google Gemini, and that's followed by other AI tools that which didn't specify. And the other most popular is also Claude. In terms of awareness, got aware of these AI tools, the AI tools on the social media, so such as Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, and other also got awareness from their friends and classmates, where some people also, very few people got this information through their teachers or school activities. Moving on to the second objective result that we got so far, majority of respondents are aged between 15 and 20, and about 6 they are from either high school or university. And we do have some also reasonable percentage that are beyond the university age group back home. So public and private schools both are represented well in the survey, even though we do have more respondents from public schools. And internet access is common, mostly through smartphones. If you look at the image at the bottom of the to the right of the slide, you see many people, they access the all these AI tools through their phones, and that followed by a laptop or computer, and some recent percentage also use tablet to access AI tools. In terms of usage patterns, most people say they use AI tools on a weekly basis or more. Many people use it for either summarizing their work or to understand certain concepts or to even write their essays or things like school assignment and all of that. So that is what we find out in terms of AI usage patterns. In terms of ethical perceptions, which is the worries that people have around using AI for academic work, most people feel AI use was helpful and acceptable. Many schools have not formally addressed ethics, how people should be using the AI for their academic work, what should be do's and don'ts in terms of usage of AI. And concern exists that AI may reduce independent thinking. If you look at the bottom right image here, a lot of people think that by using AI, that will, discourage people from thinking for themselves. That means it's going to make people to be lazy. We still need more data to see how to that is. Okay, and we see that a lot of schools have not even talk about it. They don't talk about it to their students. So let alone setting guidelines, rules on how AI should be used for academic work. So in terms of academic impact, AI is expected to improve academic performance and understanding. A lot of you said the AI has improved their academic performance significantly, and that's a good feedback from the survey. Students also report increased confidence when using AI tools. And that's also a very good feedback we got from these surveys, because they said that it's able to understand certain concepts of their subjects even better than when they are taught by their teachers or when reading their textbooks. In terms of adaptability, like learning new technology or new AI tools, so most people feel confident, that they can use a new technology, easily. And we have overwhelming response of over 60%. Like 6 respondents out of 10 respondents says they feel more confident, using AI. In terms of curricular integration, so we have strong support for AI inclusion in the curriculum. A lot of people suggested that this AI tool should be, integrated into the curriculum, at least at high school and the university level in Nigeria. Students also prefer structured teacher-led AI education. So they want a kind of intervention from teachers or from any coach on how best to use AI tools. And this is also very paramount because nowadays we do what they call prompt engineering, which talks about how to structure prompt that you give to AI. The better prompt you give to AI, the better result you will get from the AI tools. In terms of support recommendations, so many people said the kind of support they would need, it would be training sessions, online tutorials, and access to internet and devices. So I was expecting to see things like electricity, potential electricity to top the list in terms of response we got, but it is a bit surprising that many people actually wanted more training, more workshops on how to use AI, and they also wanted to watch online videos and tutorials to better understand how to use AI. And that also, aligns with what I just mentioned, the previous slide about prompt engineering, because the better way, the way you structure your prompt to the AI will determine the kind of responses that you will get back. And that will be able to get most out of the usage of the AI tools. Conclusion. So in the previous slide, I've shown to you what we have found out in terms of awareness of our students at high school and university level in Nigeria. I've also shown you the kind of ethical perceptions. Some people believe that using AI will make, will make us to be lazy, not to have, way to do certain things ourselves. And pursue academic benefits, people said this as, evident to improve their academic performance, which is a very good feedback. And in terms of adaptability, we see that people feel more confident to use this AI tool, and even though they still want more knowledge on how to optimize their, time with using AI. And yes, in terms of demand, we've seen that they said they need more workshops, more online tutorials, and access to devices to better access AI tools. So in terms of recommendations, so we strongly believe that AI should be integrated into our education policy and curriculum. Our education should be more digital based, should more be digital driven, and government need to invest in digital infrastructure and equitable access for tech tools. We need to expand internet connectivity, especially in our schools, so that if eventually when the guideline for usage of AI is fully implemented in our schools, students can have access to internet to access all these AI tools. We also made a recommendation that we should be quick at establishing ethical guidelines, and policies for usage of AI. And we should also try to address all these concerns over academic integrity and critical thinking by formalizing the acceptable practices. We also recommend that leverage student support for structural AI integration. We have to use student motivation as a foundation, because students, they are excited to use it, and it's either we encourage them to use it in the right way, and if you don't put a structure and foundation in place for them to use it, they will still use it. So it's better to come with a clear framework, foundation, clear framework, guideline on how to use this, and then integrate into our education curriculum. So then we promote continuous research and monitoring, and this is also a preliminary study, preliminary findings, and we aim to collect more data in order to better refine the outcomes from this.